I came home to my quiet farmstead in Willow Creek, Tennessee, on a chilly November evening in 2024, exhausted from a grueling business trip. I'm a landscape architect, and I'd been in Colorado wrapping up a project, dreaming of nothing but my bed. My flight landed late, around 1 a.m., and as I pulled up to my gate, my heart sank. Two police cars sat there, their lights slicing through the night like a bad omen. My first thought was a break-in or some accident nearby, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I was the suspect. I'm Marcus Hayes, by the way, just a guy trying to keep his small business afloat and his property in order. But that night, I stepped into a nightmare orchestrated by my neighbor, Eleanor Ramsey, the self-proclaimed queen of our HOA. As I fumbled for my keys, I hit record on my phone call at a gut instinct. An officer approached, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Sir, we need ID. We got a call about suspicious activity." Suspicious activity? At my house. I handed over my license, my mind racing. Then I saw her Eleanor, clipboard in hand, dressed like she was auditing a Fortune 500 company at 1 a.m. Her auburn hair was impeccable, her smirk venomous. "Officer, that's the man I reported," she declared, pointing at me like I was a fugitive. She claimed I was breaking into my own home, citing my unannounced return from my trip. She even whipped out a tape measure to check my mailbox height 30.1 inches, apparently a crime against the HOA's 28 to 32-inch rule. The officer, visibly baffled, confirmed my ID matched the address and sent her packing, but not before she rattled off details about my life she shouldn't know, my exact travel dates, the rental car I was driving, even where I usually park. It was chilling. As the cops left, one whispered, "Get some cameras, Mr. Hayes. She's called us out here too many times." The next morning, my inbox was a Warzone 39 HOA violations totaling $19,500. Noise complaints, misplaced trash bins, unauthorized garden changes all dated when I was 1,200 miles away in Colorado. My coffee mug hit the floor when I saw the fines escalate. $50 violations ballooned to $500 with compound interest because I hadn't checked my email while traveling. I pulled up my security footage, but the files for those exact violation times were gone surgically deleted. A neighbor, Mrs. Larson, had mentioned seeing a utility van near my place at odd hours, and now it clicked. Digging into my cloud backups, I found grainy footage. A figure skulking around my property at 2 a.m., dumping trash, spraying my plants with what looked like herbicide, and displacing a Bluetooth speaker by my fence to fake a noise violation. My hands shook. This wasn't just harassment. It was a calculated attack. I called Sarah Bennett, an attorney known for battling rogue HOAs. She didn't sugarcoat it. "Marcus, this is organized fraud. We need to move fast." While digging for answers, I found a news article about Eleanor's daughter, Lily, killed 2 years earlier in a tractor accident caused by a reckless driver. Eleanor had since waged a crusade against unsafe rural activities, targeting people like me who use farm equipment for work. She'd tried and failed to change local zoning laws, so she turned to vigilante tactics, framing residents to drive them out. Sarah uncovered 2 other families in nearby towns who'd faced identical schemes. Fake violations, deleted footage, and rush foreclosures that forced them to sell at a loss. Then came the bombshell foreclosure notice. I had 7 days to pay $19,500 or lose my home. Eleanor had manipulated the timeline, a move Sarah called likely illegal. As we prepared to fight, I got a text from a man claiming to be Eleanor's ex-husband, Nathan. "I have documents to help your case. Meet me at a diner on Oak Street, 3 p.m. Against Sarah's advice, I went. Nathan, a weary man in his late 50s, slid me an envelope of HOA financial record shell companies, fake invoices, money funneled to non-existent businesses. He said Eleanor's grief over Lily had twisted into an obsession with control, targeting families to protect the community. But his nervous, fidgeting hands, constant glances at his phone set off alarms. I'd recorded the whole conversation, and his overly sympathetic tone felt rehearsed, like he was steering me toward pitying Eleanor instead of pressing charges. Days later, Eleanor called an emergency HOA meeting, painting me as a reckless menace with a slick presentation on farm equipment dangers. I countered with my footage, showing her trespassing and planting evidence. The room gasped, but Eleanor doubled down, claiming I'd faked the video. The community split, half believed her, half didn't. The foreclosure vote passed by a hair. Desperate, I agreed to meet Nathan again at a storage unit for more evidence. Big mistake. When the door rolled up, Eleanor stood there, smirking. "Time to talk about Lily. Marcus," she said, her voice dripping with menace. Nathan admitted he'd lured me there to protect her, insisting she was broken, not evil. But I was still recording. For an hour, they spilled everything. Their scheme had targeted 5 families, using fake violations to force sales, then flipping properties for profit. They thought they trapped me, but I had their confession. The next day, Eleanor filed a harassment complaint against me, and the police seized my cameras, leaving me blind. With the foreclosure auction looming, Sarah suggested playing the recording publicly at the event. At the courthouse, over 70 people gathered Eleanor's supporters with signs demanding safety, my allies calling out HOA abuse. As the auctioneer began, I connected my phone to a speaker. Eleanor's voice boomed. "Every night, Lily asks why I didn't protect others from people like you." The crowd erupted. Her ex-husband's voice followed. "We've done this to 5 families. They learned their lesson." Victims stepped forward, sharing identical stories of harassment. Then Eleanor's cousin, who'd hacked my cameras, broke ranks, confessing everything. Eleanor unraveled denial, rage, bargaining, despair before the sheriff cuffed her for fraud and conspiracy. The auction was canceled, her fake bidders vanished, and the truth was out. 6 months later, Eleanor sent me a letter from Persona, genuine apology, admitting her grief had turned her into a monster. She got 18 months and $90,000 in restitution. Nathan got probation for cooperating. The HOA was overhauled, transparent elections, capped fines, public records. We built a memorial garden for Lily, a place of healing, not control. When Eleanor visited post-release, she looked broken but grateful. "This is what Lily would have wanted," she said. Justice wasn't just her punishment, it was rebuilding a community where no one else would suffer like I did. What do you think? Was Eleanor a villain or a victim of her own grief? Should I have pressed harder for a harsher sentence? Or was her apology enough? Would you have risked everything on that recording? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if this story gripped you, and subscribe for more real-life battles.